Hey guys, it's Chris, and welcome to Toned and Toneful, the self-actualization video podcast, episode number 60. Your best work comes after giving up. So in this week's episode, guys, I want to talk about how validation and how the driving forces of what we look for as the reward in our success can actually really change our trajectory of where we end up. Many artists and many people who are musicians and a little more of the thoughtful, quiet type have always been the kind of person who's been maybe trapped a little bit by their sensitivity and or maybe trapped a little bit by the idea that even though we are all, people in society and many of us love to do our own thing, we do need acceptance to a certain degree. And it's funny that this acceptance drives a lot of the underlying levels of success for many people and drives a lot of the underlying reason for why they do what they do. But I think one of the interesting things that we can come to kind of learn as we look into our reasons of why we do things is to find that, are we doing the best thing that we could? Are we giving our best? Or are we just looking for enough to get the validation that we're looking for? And many times there's a very blurry line there. For some people, their desire to prove somebody wrong, their desire to finally flex on those who have been, talking down on them maybe throughout portions of their life or little on certain parts of their life, maybe a dream they have or a goal they have. A lot of people are looking for that fulfillment that they think will come when they achieve success. They see the word success written out. They see how in hustle culture, if we're knocking out our goals, if we're achieving the things that are materialistic, if we have a bigger house, we have a bigger bank account, and we have a better car, and we have all these things that are constantly improving, all this improvement, we should feel amazing, right? But the funny part is many people don't actually end up feeling any better after chasing these rewards and these validations that come from having either success or being noticed, to have, some popularity. Because sometimes popularity isn't always success. They can be two different things. But what I'm really trying to get the point at is, if you were to look at your life and see why you're doing something, are you able to do your best work when your mindset is based on validation? And there's a yes and no to this. There's a yes in the answer because there are some people who, when they see the reaction to what they're doing, and maybe if the content of their heart is pure and what they were working on, they had a very certain vision for it, and they see that that's taking off with people, that person might actually work from a very pure place. And when they achieve some success, they might actually dig into themselves a little more and pull out more of the special art that they make. Not for the reasons of validation or not for the reasons of becoming more popular or anything, but they do that because that representation of themselves is a truth-telling. It's a storytelling that they must do. But because they're being rewarded for that storytelling, they're actually giving better storytelling. Do you see what I'm saying? So if we're rewarded for doing something that just got attention, say we did a viral video, and we had our art really make it out into the world because we had a funny idea for a music video, or, maybe the way that the presentation of an art project came out in a certain way that it was very niche and it got really popular. But you kind of get in a funny spot when you're there because you're like, was it my art that got me popular, or is it this niche presentation? And what is more me? And that is part of the artist's journey, is figuring out what is more them so they can deliver their best work. If your mindset is constantly looking about what other people will think of you, you're going to do what it takes to fulfill those mindsets. You're going to watch how they respond to so if you want really hardcore guitar players to respond to your posts, you're going to maybe put up a lot of shredding stuff and you're like, look at all these good guitar players commenting on my page, but you might not have any fans. You might not have people who really want to see your work in the sense that they listen to your music or they have anything to do with it. They're just there to see very hard guitar parts get played. And if that's your goal, if that's your best work, then you're doing it. And you're spending it around the time that you want to be spending it around. But if your goal was to make music that the world would hear, and you're playing for a niche group of people and the world isn't hearing it and you're feeling kind of trapped by it, you're not doing your best work. And that's where this comes from. It comes from this self-assessment of going, what are my goals? And do the things that I do with the goals that I have, the actions that I take towards the goals that I have, are they congruent? Do they make sense? Do these decisions actually line up to this to then get to that final goal? Or am I just kind of doing stuff and then wondering why I'm not ending up over here? Or am I seeing a result and I'm doing anything to get to the result, but I don't care how I get there? I don't care if the things I'm doing affect me poorly, affect me in a great way. I'm not really being too concerned about that. I'm just looking to be popular or just looking to affect the world. Then a viral video is fine. That's good. But if your intent was to heal the world with maybe some music, or you wanted to create a foundation that would donate money to a certain thing, then those are pretty specific goals and you need to be more lined up in that. But the main point of what I'm saying is you can never give your best work. You can never bring your best self forward if the point that you're working from is through the eyes of others, through the vision of what others think of your goals, your actions, what you're doing, your success. You need to have those ideas in your mind so that the actions that you take and so that the things you do lead you to them. It's not about getting there faster. It's not about getting there in a more morally good or bad way. This is about getting to what you truly want and being honest about it with yourself, because a lot of people will make up excuses and lies to themselves along the way about what that success looks like to them, or they'll make adjustments to their vision, but not based on a good personality change or based on some new information that they want something to be different. They're doing it because they're giving up on the original idea because it might be too hard for them to execute. They might be giving up on the original idea because they're having a hard time locking in the details of what would actually make this work. And so what they're trying to do is circumvent it by lowering the standard or change something, so then that way they don't have to figure out the plan that will lead them to where they want to be, or make the real actions that will get them there. And so when we look at this, how your best work comes after giving up, it's not about giving up. It's about letting go of the vision of others, the gaze of others, to focus on the gaze of yourself, to what's spiritually important to you, what's artistically important, and what speaks your story so you have something to deliver in the projects that you do. Again, these can be art projects, music projects, they could even be a business idea. But the point is you will not get there if you're utilizing faulty thinking on your end to excuse and to drive yourself to be as an inspiration. Let the inspiration come from within. The best answers are within. And most of what you're ever looking for in correlation to the world is found within yourself so you can correlate to the world. So again, thank you guys for being here for episode 60. Your best work comes after giving up. And I just wanted to tell you guys that you've been amazing. And this episode is just so special because it's one of the last few ones that are going to be out before my new song comes out. So these episodes are in a very special place in my heart. I'm in a very creative, loving zone. So I just wanted to say thank you guys. If you made it this far in the episode, type the word Mobius in the comments. Trust me, I have very cool content coming for you guys. And as a gesture of kindness and thank you-ness, I always really want to thank you guys to just say, hey, be here, listen to these things so we can help ourselves grow. This podcast is for those who do deep thinking and want to grow and want to take action towards their self. I'm looking at creating a couple of rubric sheets or maybe worksheets to come with the episodes that would be in PDF format. So you guys can actually take a little time to maybe ask yourself some of the questions that we're talking about and guide yourself through this process. Again, I appreciate you all and thank you for taking time to watch Toned and Toneful, episode 60. Your best work comes after giving up. And remember, above all else, stay toned and toneful.